Is it just us again?
It is just us again. Everyone's a Danny whore. I think he'll be in next week. But meanwhile, let's see. I mean, I'll present, the first 10 pages of Palace to Danny so he can get, because he's going to be editor and stuff. I'm serious what he has to say. But for the most part, I thought what I presented last week was pretty strong. I didn't feel like it had changed too much.
I thought it was pretty strong.
Yeah, I like it. What could I like? Torture scenes. I'm okay with those. Yeah, pretty good with that specific genre. I've seen a few of them. I remember like Alias. You remember they like J.J. Abrams back when I knew him for Alias as opposed to like Star Wars or all the other stuff. But God, I feel like every episode of Alias, it was pretty formulaic at some point. It's like, okay, she gets the plot. She gets a mission, and she dresses undercover in a sexy outfit. She gets captured. She gets interrogated. She escapes, gets the thing, and gets back. And that was like the whole episode. So like there's an interrogation scene like every single time. So.
Okay.
By the way, I got real close to Jennifer Garner one time, so that was exciting.
All right. Congratulations.
She didn't know me, but
I
knew it was her, so I'm like, way to go. We're in a dentist's office. She had to bend down right next to me to grab her coat. Like, hello.
Didn't ask for an autograph or anything?
No. Come on. This is a dentist's office. I'm going to be a total star effer. Such bullshit. Oh my God, Jennifer Garner.
It is.
All right, so let's see. So we just have your story here tonight. So all right, panel 14. All right, so you're staying with. We open in the apartment on the unhappy vampire couple, and then we do like a day on the job for Decker, and this is like mid his chase scene for day on the job kind of thing.
No. This we're picking up in the after the chase scene is over.
Okay.
So.
All right.
I rewrote the pages from 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
Basically, my audience. I rewrote my entire audience insert from the ground up.
Hold on. You know what? I got some news a couple of days ago. That I wanted to go ahead and share with you because I thought, like, wow, well, there's something you don't see every day. You remember Paul Johnson, right?
Paul Johnson.
We did some role playing games sometimes. He was a writer guy, a little bit. You don't remember Paul Johnson? Okay, never mind. You don't remember.
I remember the guy that we used to play that had all the issues.
Okay, yes, his name was Paul.
Him?
His name was Paul. Yes.
Oh, okay. Then I remember.
No. Wait, I think you're thinking of Rick, where we had the guy where we had to worry about like sense and stuff.
Yes, the guy with the issues. No, I remember him because I remember his issues.
Yeah, don't you remember like we used to play with another guy? We get together like at your place. Like I remember like one time, like we went over to your place.
Oh, that guy.
That guy. Yes, that guy. That guy's name was Paul.
Vaguely.
Okay.
What, did he make something?
He and my ex-wife Aubrey have posted some very happy couple pictures to Facebook, and I was like, "Oh, I mean, like
bringing people together."
I'm bringing people together. Look at me. Good on you. Oh, congratulations! I sent him an email. Congratulations. So there you go. And both and Paul Johnson actually has a screen credit, so he's a screenwriter, and so another writing couple. So there we go. I'm looking forward to
maybe it does better for Albie than.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. I at some point, like I step back from the game and I'm like, okay, this is too difficult. I cannot do this. But if somebody else gets boom, okay, I'll just stand back and go, hey, excellent work there. with all that stuff. But yeah, I was like, wow, right,
All right.
it's this little writer get togethery thing. So there we go.
So I guess she's out of comics then.
I mean, she's a writer. I mean, I'm sure she's still in comics. I
I haven't
don't
heard
believe
much.
there has not been a cancellation notice on her on Hunting Alice on Indiegogo. Uh, so I think it's still technically in production. Just like, look, that was a Comicsgate book, so it's pretty slow. I saw an update today on like Cal Jameson. Like, God, how many? I remember when uh, Cal Jameson was going up against me and was the Comicsgate favorite way back when in 2019 when I was presenting Guinevere 1. All right. So that was a while ago. I've since done Guinevere 2 through 5, White Lily 3 through 5, Lords of Iron 1, Battles 1 and 2. Cal Jameson still has not filled Shinobi Sasquatch, but Comicsgate showed me they gave him all that money, and hey, it is a nice looking artist that apparently is no longer going to be in use because Rob announced he was switching or something. Or no, Rob was the artist, so Cal announced he was switching. Hooray! But yeah, like that whole spectrum of books are very slow to come out, and so in that regard,
Well,
the expectation that Hunting Alice will come. The people I've heard from who've actually received like authentic Comicsgate books are like, you don't get the book until you hate the person, like, and by the time you get it, you're like, yeah. So anyway.
well, I guess if I could drop a comic crowdfund and get 20 to 30 grand and not fulfill, I mean, why bother?
Exactly. Well, yes. That's the other question. That's so many
I mean,
creators
I'm working
in
my
that
ass
certain
off
little
here
orbit
trying
have
to
asked. Like, why would I
crawl
bother?
my way to $20,000
Yeah,
crowdfund, and
exactly.
I mean, hey, if I don't got to do any of the work for it, why bother doing
You
the
know
work
what?
for it?
Like, Kickstarters are way more profitable when you just don't fulfill. Yeah. Anyway, well, there we
Yeah,
go.
well, considering my last Kickstarter brought in over 12 grand and I
Yeah.
spent half of that on printing costs.
Yeah. But I mean, at this point, I would be surprised. I don't think Hunting Alice is ever actually going to ship.
Oh, that's a shame.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's a dead shark.
Hmm.
And
Well, maybe she'll come back and look for some Pocket Jacks distribution.
it could
I mean,
be,
look, it
right.
worked for
It
Mulby,
could
right?
be, right. I mean, it could be, right. It's who knows. Or not. I mean, they can keep going with Dark Gift up in his
I mean, hell, even I'd talk to her about it if she didn't want to deal with you.
well, if she had a book to put out, right? It's like
True,
get to the
true.
point where we
Yeah,
have a book to put out, and you know
absolutely. I mean,
we're not
the
quite
guy
there yet.
doing Angel of Darkness is going to be done soon. He's not that bad, and he's not that expensive.
Yeah. Hey, so out of curiosity, John, you've been selling some of my copies. I really appreciate that. You gonna need some more books soon, or you like?
I still got three or four each.
Okay, so you've sold more than half of the 10
Yeah,
that you initially bought. I think you could maybe sell them a little faster, but I understand they're not
I'm not
your main
trying to sell them.
focus. But
Like
I mean, they're like gorgeous, though, right? When you open, them, like, oh my
they
god, these
are.
books are
Like
so.
I
Do other
typically
people comment when you're like, holy shit, these books look awesome?
no, not
No,
really.
no, yeah, okay, it's
Yeah.
quality art. What can I say?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I mean,
Okay.
and my stuff isn't that bad either.
Right.
So I mean, I do talk about it depending on how the conversation goes.
Right.
When we are discussing it, generally that's more when I'm talking about other creators.
Right.
And they ask me, "Oh, how do you do comics and how much does it cost and all of that?" Then it's like, well, then I break out my
So
book
you
and
pitch out you pitch White Lily and Guinevere only to the narrow segment of people who are like, I want to make
No,
indie comics?
no, I pitch
No. Okay.
Guinevere and White Lily to the person that says, I don't buy floppies, I only buy trades.
Oh, okay. That's still a very narrow segment.
Yeah. And
Okay.
that's why
That's a
I still
very
have
narrow
4 of
segment.
them left.
It's very narrow.
I'm not. They sit on my
Okay.
table,
It's
and
very narrow.
I pitch my own stuff. I'm trying to build my brand, not
Okay.
yours.
All right. It's very narrow.
Yours are there. I grab White Lily when I have a teen audience. I'll grab
Yeah.
White Lily because
It's,
that's
it's interesting you say that's a teen audience book. All right. Fair enough.
it doesn't have any gratuitous violence,
It does not.
nudity,
Yeah.
sex,
No.
or anything like that, and it's
Yeah.
the most PG-13 thing I got on my table.
Yeah. It's not bad in that
So
regard, right? Yeah.
yeah. And so yeah, so if I have a teen audience, I will pitch
Right.
that one.
Mm-hmm.
But otherwise, I mostly just have them on my table where people can see them.
Yes.
At Shitty Con that I did, the one lady saw it on my table and just bought it on the spot.
Awesome.
Because she was vaguely familiar with the story of Katya and Lilia.
And look, I gotta take a bit of credit for building that story up, because when I got started, like, who was telling stories about Katya and Lilia? Like, even looking at the literature about Lydia Litviak, it was never her and Katya Budanova. It was, God, I read one where Lydia Litviak was shot down behind enemy lines, and it was like Romeo and Juliet. She fell in love with a German, and I was like, oh my God, this is horrible. But yeah, I never saw anything about like her flying around with Katya. So to me, this is my take on it.
Well, this lady, she loved military women in uniform.
Okay.
Like my Garvey print of Aaron shooting the zombie in the head.
Yeah.
That was what brought her to my table.
Okay.
She bought that print off of me.
Yeah.
And White Lily.
Yeah. But we were able to sell her your Angel of Darkness comic book?
Yes, I believe I sold her Angel of Darkness.
Wow, look at you. There you go. Trifecta: print, comic, trade. Just thank God this woman came over to my table. There you go.
She was my biggest customer at the entire venue.
Wow.
That was of the 40 people that I had come to my table. Yeah. And she was another vendor.
And she knew about White Lily. There we go.
Yeah.
All right.
She knew 14, of it, but yeah.
Well, I mean, yes.
And then I
which is still progress. Like,
oh yeah.
I mean, I've been pitching this story so long, and again, I gotta take some credit for this because I don't know anybody else doing it. And I've kind of seen the dialogue and reaction changed from, I didn't know that there were such a thing as women fighter pilots in World War II to, oh yeah, I think I heard something about them. So
yeah, that's kind of my response. I don't get the, oh, I didn't know that response. Yeah. I get the, oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Response. Doesn't always sell a book, but
yeah. 14, 5 panels. Panel 1, the suspect, appearance returned to normal, calmly sits in the cell. Decker leans against the cell while Jenkins stands beside him, cleaning his fingernails with a large combat knife. Not recommended, by the way. Go ahead, Jenkins.
So, did you enjoy that blood pack? Did it make you feel all warm and tingly inside? Are you ready for me to break those bones again?
Jenkins seems like an asshole.
Oh, there's lots of assholes in this
panel
story
2.
If you haven't figured that out yet.
Nick's human, early 20s, wearing New Orleans Police Department uniform, approaches the holding cell, standing between Decker and Jenkins, a stupid grin across his face. By the way, that was the one thing you did not write in there, which I, as an artist, would want to know, but you clarified it here when we finally got to the pronoun of his face. But up until that was, like, tell me, it was a man or woman, because they have different builds. Okay, his face. Fair enough. All right. Nix. And Nix is kind of, that could be boy or girl. Nix, class night watchman. Shit, is that him, a real live Ribal? I mean, you but you put it in italics. and he's kind of street, so I didn't know how I should play this. But Rebel, okay. Well, I mean, how am I supposed to pronounce Rebel in italics? Like, what is
It's
the
more
italics?
just emphasis because,
Rebel,
so yeah.
real life rebel. Can I do him? Nix is pretty forward. Okay.
You mean fuck him? Sure, kid. I could use a laugh.
Nix rolls his eyes. Jenkins, see, that's what I thought too. I'm like, shit. All right. Apparently, this is a very interesting prison. All right. Nix, no idiot. Like stab a couple of times after UNC Lieutenant McBride is done with him on me.
Hold the phone. You're the lieutenant's blood surf we heard was coming. Do I pity the fool taking your ass out tonight?
I'm trying to understand the exposition. All right. Panel 4. Exiting a stairwell. Lieutenant McBride. Haven't we seen him before?
Yes, he's being reintroduced because I rewrote this scene.
Very well. Lieutenant McBride.
So do you remember Jackson, the sheepy police officer that was paired up with Decker?
I mean, okay.
Exactly. You don't. That's the whole point.
Yeah.
That guy was cut, and Nix replaced him. So
okay,
I rewrote the whole scene to
all right.
Nix is now your human. This is now your audience insert character.
Okay.
I rewrote him from the ground up.
Fair enough. All right. Lieutenant McBride, a white human male in his early 40s, slightly overweight, wearing a suit and tie, enters. And whom
Yes.
I guess, yes, go ahead.
That's enough.
He is class watch commander. I think I'm still not a fan of the class thing. Sergeant Jane, a black female vampire appearing late 20s, shaved head, a don't fuck with me attitude, perfect psychic.
That should be physique.
Perfect physique.
Did I spell that wrong?
No, you did physique in tight slacks and policewoman's dress shirt, a few buttons at the top loose, showing her perfect cleavage, walks beside McBride, a PC tablet in her hand. Well, that's a lot of words. All right. Jane is the night watchman. As McBride and Jane walk past Nix, Jane turns, hissing at him, bearing fangs. Nix backs up a step as a chill goes down his spine. We have a hiss. Page 15, we got 5 panels. Panel 1, McBride and Jane stand between Decker and Jenkins, staring into the background where the suspect sits. Nix stands background. Jane holds up the tablet to McBride, showing the booking sheet.
What do they call you?
What does it matter?
You are being charged with sedition, showing your true form in public, attacking a human, and attempted siring of a vampire. How do you plead?
Oh, shit. Those are serious charges. Panel 2, the suspect stands up, raging his fist in anger. I don't answer to you or to your king. I am a free vamp. I'm sorry. Just when you're doing this, I feel like you have to go a bit drawly. And you can go fuck yourself. There you go.
I mean, he could be. I mean, like... I mean, there's vampires in the Empire which follow the king,
right?
And then there's those that rebel against the Empire. So it's kind of like Star Wars for vampires.
The sentence for violating the rules set in place by Imperial Order is death. Holy shit! These are very, very serious rules. Unless you care to provide the information my detectives require. Panel 4. The suspect lunges at McBride, reaching his arm through the cell bars. Jane pulls McBride back with superhuman speed. All right, well, you're going to have to tell the artist how you want to draw that superhuman speed. I guess we're just going like motion lines everywhere, multiple McBrides or whatnot. And we have a... Gleefully, Jensen swings the combat knife, slicing the suspect's arm clean off just past the elbow. The severed limb dances in the air as the blood from the arm and limb string together. The fingers of the limb start to crumble to ash, appearing to grow down the fingers Jenkins.
Ha.
Dear Jenkins. Ah! Ah! 16, panel 1. McBride stands between Jenkins, holding the bloody knife with an expression of joy at the violence. Jane stands beside McBride. Jenkins, glean whatever information you can about their operations and dispose of it.
With pleasure.
Panel 2. McBride gives Decker an order he's not happy with. Jenkins laughs at Decker's expression.
Well, you're doing McBride again, so.
I am. Decker, I want you to take Nix out on patrol.
Don't forget to tuck him in. Don't forget to give him a kiss and tuck him in when you're done.
Can it, detectives? Nix is as much a part of Night Watch as you two are. Take him along for the Jefferson pickup or something. Panel 3, now alone. Nix approaches Decker once again, grinning like an idiot.
So, it's just you and me, partner.
Panel 4, Decker grabs Nix by the throat, pins him to the wall, hoisting him centimeters off the ground. Nix shakes his head as much as he can under Decker's neck grip. Listen up, you little shit. I don't give a fuck who you are or who you're related to. You might be Night Watch, but you're still a goddamn blood serf. So you will do what I say when I say understood. I think like a little WWE action could bring this scene to life. 17, panel 1. Decker steps back from Nix. Nix composes himself, trying desperately not to start crying like little bitch. I think we missed an adjective here.
Like, yes.
Go put your civvies on and we'll head out. Panel 2, Nix walks past Decker towards the door. Jenkins leans into him, whispering into his ear.
And he's the one with the soft spot for you walking blood packs.
Panel 3, Nix bolts from the door, about to piss himself. Panel 4, Jenkins and Decker share a laugh at Nick's expense.
Dude, you are so fucked.
Panel 5, Decker drives as Nix sits beside him, not wearing a tank top, leather jacket, and now wearing a tank top, leather jacket, and jeans. All right, you know what? I'm not sure. I'm going to admit I'm not sure. I don't know who's wearing the tank top, leather jacket, and jeans.
Probably the guy that was
Decker
instructed to go change his clothes.
As Nix sits beside him.
I could put now wearing between the subject and verb.
You could,
You're
yeah.
correct.
Yeah.
That would probably be
staring
clearer,
outside the window.
because then it would be him sitting beside him staring out the window.
Right.
So yes, that I could see would make that sentence more clear.
What I tend to do is I tend to put it at the front of the sentence. Now wearing a tank top, leather jacket, and jeans, comma, Nix sits beside Decker driving, or looking. Nix looks out the window as Decker drives the car. That's the way I would do it.
Okay, that would work too.
You're in the watch, so I'm assuming you know the rules.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just killed the fucker, bitch. All right, fine. Anyway. Our job is to enforce those rules. 18. Panel 1, Decker parks up in front of a rundown clinic. A neon 24-hour emergency sign hangs overhead. A few letters don't illuminate. Others are broken. You know, I feel like you as the writer need to tell us which letters those are, because eventually someone's going to have to make that decision. It might as well be you. Right? I mean, we could leave it up to the artist to go which letters should be broken, but I mean, your guess is as good as his.
It doesn't matter. I mean, it's not.
All right, fine. Okay.
It's not Batman Returns.
Boarded up. All right. Whenever it's like an arbitrary decision, I, as the writer, try and make those arbitrary decisions. Just like here, try and show I'm doing something. The windows.
I am doing something. I'm writing the scene.
The windows sit boarded up and covered in graffiti. Panel 2, Nix exits the vehicle, reads the sign posted on the wall, and laughs to himself. The sign on the question reads, donate blood, plasma, get cash, no questions. Another sign out in front that reads, use side entrance, with an arrow pointing down a narrow, dimly lit alley.
Man, someone's going to have to be smoked out of their gourd to come to a place like this.
Panel 3, when Decker and Nix arrive at a large steel door at the end of the alley, Decker bangs his fist on it, sending an echo vibrating inside. Jefferson, or wait, I'm Decker, right?
Yeah.
Jefferson is an independent clinic. They pay us 30%, and we don't ask questions about where the rest of the collection goes. Panel 4. A slit in the door opens. Inside, we see a square-jawed vampire with a high-tech earpiece. Decker, Night Watch here for tonight's pickup.
I thought you guys made sure all the, are fed.
With a loud bang, the steel door opens, sending light bleeding out into the other. So descriptive, so evocative. What can I say? Your writing has come a long way, right? Like, you didn't used to write like that. Look at that. Look at that gorgeous sentence. The steel door opens, sending light bleeding out into the alley across Decker and Nick's. How do you think we do that? A fucking soup kitchen? Panel 1. The doorman, a large burly vampire in a dark suit and earpiece, steps aside, holding the door open as Decker and Nix enter. To the immediate right of the lobby is a small... Oh, you let me down right there. It's a small office. Inside holds a desk and computer showing various security cameras. The wall to side has various shotguns and long rifles hanging on the wall.
Yeah, that paragraph needs to be worked on a little bit.
The guard, another burly vampire in a dark suit, earpiece, stands by a computer terminal. Nick smiles sheepishly to them, who only return stares.
Who's the fledgling?
Nix, and he's part of the watch. Is there going to be a problem? Panel 2, a tall, slender, pale vampire with bleached blonde hair, wearing a white nurse's dress, approaches.
Good evening. The pickup is almost ready.
Wait here. Panel 3. Nix wanders into security offices. Decker follows the nurse down the dark hallway into the shadows.
Nice place. Really got that horror movie vibe going, huh?
Panel 4. Nix notices in the security camera monitor a young woman walking down the hallway towards the door.
Who's that?
Page 20, Panel 1. Cherry, 20s, dressed in a provocative club attire, mini string thong, mesh tank top, lacy black bra, making her C-cup breast peek into D-cup territory. See, there's a ton of description here for the penciler. The same when it comes to like rickety old showing, you're like, I don't care. Thigh-high stockings ripped in several places, heels, staggers down the hall towards the large steel door. All right. Panel 2. A security camera set above the large steel door. The red light on the security camera indicates activity. All right, how am I supposed to draw that?
You draw the security camera with a red light on it.
Okay, but I'm saying this one is an unfilmable, the second part there.
Red light flashes on a security camera set above the large door?
Yes, that is fine.
Okay.
As opposed to telling us what the red light does.
I see.
Yeah, the red light on the security camera indicates activity. Okay. Oh, okay. Oh, so you're trying to say... Because otherwise, I just thought this was like a technical user description. Like, when you're looking at a security camera, know that the red light indicates activity, as opposed to like the red light was blinking, indicating,
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, it's a comic, so it's not going to be blinking. It'll be on.
Right. But I mean, you can show like the little like light, like little cross hatching and whatnot around.
Yeah. I will reword that a little bit to just.
Panel 3, Cherry squats by the wall in full view of the camera, thong panties at her ankles, urine streams from under the miniskirt pooling on the ground. She breathes a sigh of relief. Panel 4, view from the security camera complete with camera crossbars and the red REC in the corner shows Cherry pissing in the alley. 21, Panel 4, Jefferson. Cherry bangs at the large steel door at the end of the alley. We have a bang bang. Panel 2. The metal slit and the door opens. Once again, we see the square jaw of the doorman who says, "What do you want?" Panel 3, Jefferson Free Clinic lobby night, angled downward from the doors, towering in perspective. Cherry's eyes wide and dilated from the drugs, makeup smeared, and her eyes sweetly, she smiles sweetly, twirling her hair like the innocent schoolgirl we know she isn't.
The sign out front says, "You give me money for my blood."
Panel 4, the guard sits at the computer. The camera shows Cherry locked by the door, and after the side shows the door is locked.
The alleyway is clear. I'm opening her up.
22, panel 1, the doorman holds up the vest. Cherry enters. Cherry smiles, attempting to lighten the mood, but the doorman just glares at her. From the security room, Nix watches. The guard remains at the computer.
Now I need to search you. Oh, afraid I might steal your blood? Turn around.
Panel 2, Cherry turns around to the wall. As the doorman touches her shoulder, she recoils.
Oh, it's cold.
Panel 3, Nick steps in the hallway. Cherry smiles at him, attempting to remain cheery. Allow me. Panel 4, Nick shoves Cherry against the wall. He places one hand under her miniskirt, rubbing. Well, okay, all right. We're getting right down to business, John. With his other, he reaches
Nick's
around.
is getting right down to business.
Yeah, her front, groping her breasts over the mesh tank top.
Are you carrying any weapons on you?
Nope, no weapons. Certainly not. And
Shh.
uh-oh. We got to check her for vagina guns. Here we go. Panel 1, Decker returns, rolling a large wheeled cooler. The nurse sits behind him, watching with a similarly sized wheeled cooler. Panel 2, Nick steps back away from Cherry as Decker places the cooler in front of him.
What?
Take him to the car. Panel 3, Cherry leans back against the wall, taking a breath. Decker stands back, speaking calmly. Background, Nex wheels the cooler aside. Decker, are you okay?
Yeah, never better.
Belch, okay.
Well, bleh.
Cherry darts past Decker, bending over and vomiting on the floor. Her miniskirt flies up, showing her ass. Panel 5, Cherry stands up, wiping her mouth with her arm.
Better.
Well, I'll leave you in their capable hands.
This way, miss. We'll take good care of you.
All right, so stuff happens. We're seeing more of the world. Certainly some character development. We have an interrogation scene. We have a horde intake, blood intake, and discharge. So we had that. We watched that. We got introduced to Nix, the assistant. I mean, you know, all good story beats. So there you go. In terms of constructive, all right. Let's see. I'm trying to figure out what I mean. Like, look, you know, this is valuable real estate we're talking about drawn out here, and we spend about at least 4 pages with Cherry. I'm not sure what Cherry is doing for us. I mean, she's a whore, and we're getting to see flashes of stuff. But I mean, why are we concerned about what's going on at this? All right. Well, I guess there's a plot-related reason that we'll explain it here in a minute. But fair enough. But I'm somewhat not. I'm not attached to Cherry, who we just saw. And she's not exactly likable, nor are the interactions involving her particularly interesting. So, I mean, like Nix is being, we're seeing a demonstration of Nix's character, which is, I got to say, amazingly lackadaisical, right? If this was like my first evening out on the night watch with like a vampire, and I was not a vampire, and I just saw him whack a vampire for breaking the rules, and they're out to enforce the rules, and I know that the way you enforce the rules is you kill people who don't follow the rules. I think I would be like more anxious. I think I would be more anxious, but Nix is completely not anxious. He's amazingly casual, and he's interested in like pushing boundaries in all kinds of ways, which to me seems inappropriate for a guy who's doing his first day on the job at a job where they let you go by killing you. So anyway, that's my take. That's my thought.
So what I'm trying to do
Yeah.
is set up that the Night Watch are basically like the mob, and you don't F with them.
Yes.
And
right. Yeah. Well, I
even
mean, we see that when we're whacking the vampire in the jail cell, right?
right.
We see that there.
But
yes.
now where there's a human on the Night Watch,
Yes.
and he commands the same level of respect.
I mean, does
to the
he?
point where
I have a feeling the answer would be not. I mean, well, Nyx doesn't command the same respect, obviously, right?
no, but being Night Watch does. So humans on the Night Watch are higher tier than other vampires, even that are not on the Night Watch.
Okay. All right,
So,
and so that's why you're showing Nyx being rather brazen.
yes.
Okay.
Yeah, because
yeah.
he is a higher class than so like these two.
But isn't this just his first day on the job?
Yeah, it's title. Title.
Okay.
It comes from the title. It's an imperial system. That's where I'm going with it. I mean, if it doesn't work, tell me. But it's the idea of of an imperial system where if you have a title, then
okay. But the thing is, who's there to enforce the rules, right?
the Night Watch.
Yeah, the Night Watch, exactly. And now we get into who's watching the Watchers? So who's going to tell the Night Watch they're not following the rules?
The Watch Commander,
I guess. So now the question would go between Decker and Nyx, who is the Watch Commander going to inherently side with?
Well, Nyx is his nephew.
Okay.
That was implied in the dialogue where he said, "Oh, I'm here with my uncle." Oh, I mean the lieutenant.
Okay, look, if you got reasons.
So fine. That's kind of what I was kind of showing, that he's a little bit more than
meets the eye. Sounds good.
That was the implication.
Yeah.
To kind of let him get away with that, so that we can see the interactions.
Yeah. Anyway. Yeah, well, that's all I had. Okay, you got reasons. I mean, it's your story. Awesome.
You don't buy it? I mean, like, all
right. The way it seems to me, Nyx is treading on some very thin ice regarding irritating a guy who's literally a vampire. And I'm saying could kill Nyx, and Nyx couldn't do anything about it. Now, there are rules in place, but look, given what we know of police work generally, if one partner wanted to off another partner in a society where there's not really going to be that detailed a forensic investigation when there's supernatural involvement, if I was Nyx, I would be very kind and courteous, right? It's like, if you're out with a mob enforcer and the mob is like, oh, don't worry, you can't hurt this guy because he's friends with whatever, and okay, that's great, but these people still hurt you for a living, and I might be treading a little light on that one.
What? All right, so I follow you. All right, so let's use the mob analogy because it's perfect.
Okay.
So Nyx is also a mob enforcer. I mean, he's mob enforcer. He's rookie mob enforcer, but he is mob enforcer as well.
Yes.
So that's where that's his position. Like.
Okay.
I mean, does that not come across that he's acting like an arrogant asshole because he's like, yeah.
I mean, look, it's just a bit of a juxtaposition of first day on the job, arrogant asshole. That's not a combination you usually see. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
Anyway. All right. That's it. That's really all I had.
Okay.
All right. Awesome. So next week, I think we get Danny back.
Awesome.
And with him, everybody else, because apparently, like, without him, it's just you and me.
Apparently.
Sad panda. All right. Well, I will see everybody next week. And
Later.
yeah, later. Take care, everyone. Good night.